Alright, very late. What the fuck? Happenings YouTube, atheist comedians, Instagram fun. Sorry. Just way too much to do. No time to do it and all that kind of crap. And it's just all very discouraging and depressing. And so, yeah, I just avoided yesterday on the tubes thing. Anyway, so thank you to a couple people that are going to help out with this thing here. So that's working out. You know, if I can get other people to run the one page of, you know, it's like this, it looks like this kind of thing. The page runs and the whole thing runs over here and does the page updating, and that updates these things. And you know, because when I have too many of them running, I keep getting to have to put in that stupid typing crap, whatever they call that stuff. Yeah, I'm just not remembering what things are called anymore. It's kind of past my prime, you know. Anyway, Stickam, yeah, Hero did a response video here, politically correct or whatever he called it, or some kind of crap. And yeah, it was just, you know, I've sort of had my fill of Hero. I mean, it's just this whole value relativism shit, this whole, it's just a bullshit philosophy, in my opinion. And it's just irritating. It grates on your nerves. The 10,000 objectionable premises that all these people establish in their videos before you can have conversation with them, and yet they won't concede any premises in conversations they can't control, you know, where they're not in their video just spouting bullshit. It's like Kantavad, so somehow it's making it like, oh, God is a hard concept to figure out. We don't know how to define what a God is. Yeah, we do. Okay, an intelligence other than ours, somewhere in the universe, that has something to do with our existence. Yeah, that's called God. And there isn't one of those. Clearly, there's no evidence whatsoever for any of those, and it's basically a cartoon character, because if you ever even drawed one in your imagination, you would be in trouble because you couldn't figure out where it came from and who drew the God. You can't even coherently imagine a God, let alone believe that anybody's going to come up with evidence for one. And he also implies that because you say there's no evidence and there's no logical continuity to the concept itself, the concept is out of bounds, just as a, you know, drawn Bugs Bunny is out of bounds as some kind of reality. Okay, it doesn't really exist. It doesn't really have a brain. It doesn't really think and connive. No, the guy who drew it does. But even though, you know, there's no way to construct one of these things, and that's the conclusion. The conclusion is that yes, there will not be a God, because he would leave evidence, and it's not rationally acceptable. You can't rationally make one in your head that obeys the laws of physics and somehow exists. Even the existing isn't possible, as even something you can imagine coherent with what we understand the reality to be. There. We should be done now. We don't need to argue about this. I know what an atheist is. An atheist doesn't believe in unproven fantasy characters. Amazing. Wow. I can't dare call myself one of those. I mean, it's just a nonsensical conversation. It's nonsensical. And Pierrot's sitting here. You're having a conversation about how the human race will survive. I could theorize. Okay, I could point out like Einstein. I could say to you people, look, I have this formula. Okay, violence equals fail. Okay, you're not going to be able to be violent in the future. It's an impossibility. Technology makes it. There's unsustainable curvosity. So I give you a physics lesson, and I could explain a physics lecture, and I could explain. There's this unsustainable curve thing that takes place when you mix technology and violence. See, and even Itchy and Scratchy, you know, the Simpsons cartoon characters who don't really have a brain and are drawn characters. Well, apparently some human figured this out, and he made a cartoon. And you know, Itchy points a gun, and then Scratchy points a gun, and the guns keep getting bigger and 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 bigger, and it's unsustainable, right? Because now the guns are as big as the whole planet Earth. And so that's the theory here. And it's sort of an Einstein rock-solid theory. You will not survive technology unless you change dramatically. Okay, your solution psychology. All right? You can't kill the enemy. You just can't. You have to learn how to deal with the enemy. All right, so anyway. And so that's the same thing with environmental crap, right? You can't just keep choosing the short-term, okay, solution, the lazy solution. Somewhere you have to choose the durable, long-term strategy to energy utilization. And if you don't do that, you're going to fail. Fail. You're not going to succeed. You're going to fail, Piro. Fail. You're going to fail dismally. And if you try to migrate, okay, the human race, from where it's living now, where 80% of it's living now, next to the ocean, okay, you're going to fail. It's not going to happen. People will kill each other. Okay? So whatever. He's an idiot. And so what the point was is we're spending this time trying to find real durable, real solutions. What are the real places we should invest our money in terms of the energy future? Which ones are sustainable, real solutions, and which ones are pie in the sky? And Piro, consistent with the P, is a pie in the sky kind of guy. He just says, let's be lazy assholes and wait for the miracle. And he thinks it's going to be whatever, tritium or neutridium or some other kind of, we'll find some other element on the elementary table or something, and it's going to save us all. And it's just bullshit. It's a pipe dream. And it has nothing to do, even if it exists as a theoretical possibility, it has nothing to do with the problem we're in right now, and the fact that if people don't do something now, it's going to be too late later. I mean, you got to fix the holes in the lifeboat before you need to get into the lifeboat, if you get my drift, right? I mean, if you're on the ship and you see there's big holes in the lifeboat, well, it's just you're not going to have time when the boat's sinking to fix the holes in the lifeboat. You got to fix them now. All right. Well, this is all very preachy. But the point is, he implies that somehow he just got kicked because of political correctness. No, he got kicked because it's idiotic. You're trying to have a conversation about solutions, and it's like a religious nut saying, don't worry, God will show up. And you're like, we're not talking about your bullshit. We're trying to talk about something real, asshole. And he just wouldn't let it go. He wouldn't leave the conversation alone. He had to just troll on it and ruin it. Like there's no difference between now and 350 million years ago. Like somehow we're crocodiles and that we'll survive environmental change. Yeah, right. And that surviving, like having 10 of us survive with reptile skin, will somehow be success. That won't be called failure. When 7 billion people die and there's 10 people left and they all look like fucking crocodiles, that somehow that will be okay. That'll be success. That'll be successfully surviving. That won't be dismal failure. Well, that's the thing. These nihilists don't understand that failure is when people are screaming and they're on fire and they're dying with, pencils stuck in their eye. That's called failure, asshole. When you have complete chaos and people are living in absolute shit, that's called failure. We're failing. Most of the human race is an ignoramus eating some kind of shit in their food. I mean, actual shit is in their food. That's what the average human is doing. And that's called failure, not success. Okay. Oh, yeah, the cat's okay, by the way. Cat was sick, in the debate room. Anyway, and so he seems okay now, though. I mean, he's old and he's going to die. So he's not okay. None of us are okay. We're all dying. That's sort of failure on its face. The whole thing is, there's this horrible video too of this killer whales maniacally killing a seal. Not an animal with pretty big brain too. Just maniacally doing it. Just let's knock it off the ice so we can chomp it. And it's just nasty business. And people are just so impressed with this intelligence, this application of intelligence. And this is our application of intelligence. It's all these strategies to fuck each other over, to knock each other off the ice flow, for a snack. I mean, obviously, one seal isn't going to feed, 17 whales. It's almost like they're doing it for the fun of it. Yeah, I'm just very deflated by this whole human race conversation thing. It's just, and again, I'm just arguing for a less horrible. I mean, there's nothing sustainable about intelligence. There just isn't. The intelligence will understand. If the human race survives even 100 or 200 years, they're going to just do it. Making themselves dumb to do it. Kind of like Snake Plisskenus. I mean, every video now, he's drinking. Every fucking video. Alright? I'm drunk. I mean, that's the future. The future's just going to be, I'm taking 17 different mind-altering chemicals to make my life barely palatable. That's going to be the future, because intelligence is going to find the whole thing repulsive. It's going to just keep screaming to any kind of brain that has any kind of logic or intelligence, why are you playing an imbecilic, idiotic game? Well, now I'm doing the blank stare. You're speechless, because you're saying there is no answer to that question that's reasonable. Certainly no reason to force a new little, victim into the arena. So anyway, the point is the thing is going to fail. My argument is you can do it well, or you can do it preposterously badly. And these assholes are going to insist that we do it badly. And these are the intelligent assholes. I mean, these are people that have some kind of cognitive capacity. And if they can't grow up and do their job, and start pointing to the dumbasses and saying, you're a dumbass, and here I'll prove it, and I'll demonstrate to you. I mean, intelligent people have to kind of have some sort of consistency in their message. They sort of have to try to be persuasive, and they just can't be if they're going to sit there and waste their time trolling each other. That's all these assholes are. Just wasting time changing the subject. We don't know what a god is. So what? The ocean rises 10 feet? I can jump 10 feet. No big deal. Yeah. No point. No point at all. Well, there's a point, just because, this is all there is to do, is make these arguments. But obviously I have to make them in some sort of palladium chromium thing. I have to make them in something so stainless, something no booger can stick to. I mean, no matter how many boogers the Piros and the Antikonavods try to smear on stuff, it has to be just totally impervious to this booger bullshit. Alright? You have to start with an argument so simple and so clean and so polished and so removed of any defect that they can't possibly get any of their scurvy fingerprints on it. Their dirty poo-covered essence, But I just don't, who's got time to construct the alphabet in chromium and point out that simple words like violence, and consciousness and cause and effect, that you got to put all this stuff together to explain this is what we are. We're biological organisms carrying a brain. The brain, we're carrying it. It's on top of a biological organism. And that the brain thing is good. The biological organism is an asshole. And we just have to sit there and use the brain thinking thing more and listen less to the spiritual, poetic, love, 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 love. I'm going to get totally lost in my idiotic psychology and root for my home team. Yeah, you got to get way past that crap. Way, way, way past this bullshit of giving a fuck about who can throw a fucking spear the furthest. Let it go, assholes. Who can swim across a pool the fastest? Yay! No, fuck that shit. You got to start rewarding people for curing cancer and shit. You got to start having Olympic Games for save the human race. Patch up the holes in the fucking lifeboat competition. That's what you got to goddamn have here. Not shuffleboard competitions. You got lifeboats with fucking holes in them. Alright? You don't got time to be, having whole kind of orgies over winning the goddamn shuffleboard competition. The overriding point is, I understand that I have to solve all these problems, and that it's all my fault if they don't get solved, because I obviously know they exist, and somehow I'm failing to communicate this idea that we need to patch the holes in the lifeboat, and people aren't getting it, and that's because I'm failing to make them get it. So it's on me. I understand that. It's my responsibility. I'm here to save the world, so I better get to it. And I'm failing at it, so I am failing, okay? My effort equals fail. I'm failing to save the world. I concede the point, so I'm just making sure you understand. I understand it's all my fault, okay? It's the fixer's fault that something's... Well, okay, I didn't break it, but the point is that, all right, I'm not going to take responsibility. I didn't break it. Well, I did in essence because I'm human, and humans broke it. Humans broke it because they loved, and they were compelled by their emotions, and they were distracted by beauty. These are all things I do, so I'll concede the point. Okay, I'm not working as hard as I should. I'm not being as disciplined as I should either. All right, I'm spending too much time playing shuffleboard. Okay, I get that. Alright, so why am I complaining, right? So I should just be ridiculing myself. I'm the problem. Obviously, it's my fault. So why am I telling you it's your fault when it's obviously my fault? Okay. Alright, I'll get back to work. Saving the world and all that shit. And you won't have to do a thing. Don't worry. No, you won't have to do anything. This is my fault. And, if it all goes to hell, it's my fault because I didn't stop you from driving it directly to hell. Oh, I gotta go to work. Okay, anyway, till next time. Relax. Calm down.